You know what? So this podcast has always been about the minimum effective dose, which is why we called it Biz Meds. And so in the spirit of that, we have always wanted to help business owners collapse time frames, do things better, and not waste time and energy on things that don't matter and focus on the most important things. So today is really about, give us 20 minutes and we will absolutely change the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of your life and business.
Yeah. So welcome to another episode of BizMeds. We are your hosts and neuroscience business coaches. My name is Saad.
And my name is Darius. And if you're just joining us, as we said, this is all about the minimum effective dose for your business. And we want to help you scale. And we've done it with other businesses. We've actually scaled a business from $60 to $90 million in less than 18 months. Using exactly, these are the lessons that we've learned real life firsthand, and we're bringing them to you to help you achieve the next stage in your business. And we don't get paid for this. We do this because we want to help and support you as business owners. So let's dive into the 20 minutes to help change the next 5 to 25 years of your life. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
So I guess let's dive in, and really we're just going to hit, what are the key things, that are really going to help business owners.
Mm-hmm. So there's no particular order to any of these. It's just we're just kind of trying to hit a few different ones that we think are very important. So starting off with, a lot of business owners are typically putting in effort in the wrong areas. As the business owner, your job is to focus on how to grow the business. Your job is not to start getting involved in the delivery or in the minute little details, or focusing on how do you make your schedule full. You need to find the areas that is going to grow your business.
Yeah, you really need to strip away the belief system that we've been led to believe that, being really busy all the time is really productive and that you're getting a lot done. That's not what actually gets things done. It's, you said, focusing on the most important things and not putting in effort to areas that don't help you, not having a full schedule, right? You need time to focus on creating leverage.
Yeah.
Things that get you more for the same or less energy or resources or money or time.
Yeah, I was working with somebody that hired somebody to manage the customer satisfaction, and the business owner was constantly involved with the director of customer satisfaction, and I'm like, why'd you hire this guy if you're going to be involved in it anyway?
Yeah, we'll get to that one and why that is, but that's a really key one. Yeah. So now then there's here we see this happen all the time, is you distract yourself constantly with the woman in the red dress. So for any of those who's watched The Matrix before, when Neo's in the construct and he's being trained before he goes into the Matrix, sees the woman in the red dress, he's distracted. Life as a business owner is all about distraction. And there's so many different types of distraction. So there's always something new and exciting. There's always, someone saying, oh, there's this new, really improved way of marketing. There's this new way of doing things. And really it's always the same things over and over and over, packaged differently, because that's just the way of the world, right?
Yeah.
And there's also your own internal distractions, right? You'll probably get caught up scrolling social media. So whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's X or anything else.
Yeah. Well, truly, it's it's easier, right? One is a hard path, one is the easier path. So mentally, you're like, you know what? That's attracting my curiosity right now.
Yeah.
So you don't want to end up doing the boring stuff, which is the important stuff. You want to do something that's gonna what's the word I'm looking for?
Reward your dopamine system.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah.
And that's what it is, right? So it's novel, it's new, your curiosity, everything that is rewarding to you, obviously wants to pull your attention that way, and you really have to get comfortable with boring. Building a business is not always, it sounds way more sexy and exciting than it really is. Building a scaling business is, it's about learning how to have hard conversations with your people. It's about having hard conversations with yourself. It's about getting mentoring to grow your own skill set. It's learning how to coach other people. It's learning how to do a million things that you probably never knew how to do when you were growing up or never taught.
Yeah.
And being able to cut away all that stuff and be really comfortable with the boring work.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
And not fall victim to distraction.
Yeah. And that's kind of where it comes to brings us to the next one is, and this is one of my favorite books. What got you here won't get you there. And again, most people listening to that will immediately understand what that means. But it's the premise of that statement, the phrase is that exactly in the saying, like what got you here is not going to get you to the next step.
Yeah.
You know, if you walked here and now you got to start climbing, you might need something different to get to the next stage, right?
It's that belief that, I've been doing this this one thing, I've been doing it this way, and it's gotten me to this level of quote unquote success. So if I carry that forward, my brain is going to be like, well, I just do more of that to get more of this success. And that's not how it works. Is inevitably there are areas that you need to improve in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Right. So the person that you are got you to this point, but you have to flip the script a little bit, to flip the narrative that just because you've been doing it a certain way for so long, like you will tap out, you'll top out, level out at a certain point until you address those things that are actually holding you back. And there's a lot of different things in that. So it could be your mindset, could be, growth versus fixed mindset. It could be how you handle people. It could be all these different things that go into growing your skill set that you have to, it's almost like getting your ego in check and committing yourself to a lifelong process.
Yeah.
I was going to say struggle, but it's a process of just really evaluating and getting feedback where you need to improve in certain areas to help you grow to the next level.
Yeah. And sometimes you'd have to fail forward, right? Forever growing. And not that we've ever used gym examples, but do
this
you
be the first time?
Do you go to the gym and then forever only do one exercise that you're amazing and perfect at, or do you try to challenge yourself in different areas so you can start growing?
Yeah. And that, I mean, we talk about that, what got you here won't get you there. There's a million different things or examples of where that's important. It's the underlying premise is you have to really get comfortable killing off the old version of yourself and make peace with that. Like the version of you that got you here there's pieces of that still needs to be killed off, to be done away with, to get rid of it and move on to the next level. Yeah. Something like, we talked about it, you brought it up before we were kind of preparing, is the hiring, right? Most business owners we talk about hire down, right? So they'll hire people that they believe are not as good as them, or people that they can kind of manage and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Whether consciously or subconsciously, they don't know that they're doing it. But you got to flip that switch.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, as a business owner, I think sometimes there comes this idea that you have to be the top dog in every single situation.
Yeah.
So that's why you hire somebody and you're like, well, I'm going to train them and instill my skill sets into this person and have them do exactly what I do. Well,
that's a great way to keep the next 5, 10, 15, 25 years the exact same.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It frustrates me.
Yeah.
And kind of just to wrap up that thought, like, when you were in high school and the things you were doing in high school, you're not doing them today. Same thing when you graduated to college. Like, you had to start adapting to your environment. The mentality you had in middle school, you can't apply in college, right?
Yeah.
So the gradual stages of your life as you're going through, same thing in your business. Like, as you start growing, like, you need to start thinking about the next thing and approaching it in a different way.
Yeah. And one of the building blocks or foundation piece of that is getting your ego in check. Is the ego, your ego is actually such an important part of this, is being able to kind of put it in its proper place. And that will play into your mindset a lot. And one of the other major things that we see business owners, if you want to change the next 25 years, is that we touched on it a little bit, but you're trying to do too much, right? So you have this mindset that doing more is better. And it's not about doing more. It's about doing the most important things. And it really becomes like, that's a skill set.
Yeah.
Because we have been led to believe over the course of our lives that, you know, you get more done by doing more and putting more effort in. And we don't really understand the mechanics of how to 5x our output.
Yeah.
And then be able to, like, it's a cycle. It's an up and down. We like to believe that we can just operate at 100% all the time. And we top out, we max out. And that's where the burnout and overwhelm and all these things start to set in, all those feelings, right? It's not necessarily that we are burned out or that we probably feel overwhelmed because we feel like we're never doing enough. And part of that is we believe that we're supposed to operate this high level all the time. We don't give ourselves the opportunity to take some rest. And part of that is because we're not actually working on the right things, and nor do we know how to take advantage of our biology and a flow state to maximize output for a period of time. And then we go back into the cycle of recovery so that we're able to do that. And it's that cycle of, like, turn it on, you max out, and then you come back into recovery that will actually get you further ahead than trying to operate at 100% all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It is a fine line between, like, the last point and this one where, you know, some people take it the wrong way where they're like, well, what got me here won't get me there. That means I need to start, like, focusing my effort in a shotgun approach and just, like, try to do everything all at once.
Right.
And it's going to get me so much further. And, you know, we talked about this in, like, a previous podcast about, like, consistency.
Yeah.
And again, when I was at John Maxwell's like leadership coaching thing, he was talking about, like, when you're trying to cut down a tree and you're just not, like, physically strong enough, your job is to only focus on the one tree and just, like, hit it as much as you can during the day and then come and try again the next day.
Yeah.
You don't go to the next tree. Or the next tree, or the next tree, right? Like, you try to limit your like what you try to take on, and just focus on the things you can actually, like, complete and deliver.
Yeah, but that dovetails perfectly into kind of the next point, whereas if you don't know what the actual constraint of your business is, and so as a result, like, if you think about it from a root cause, that's probably one of the biggest issues that are causing some of these other things to happen. Because if you don't know what you're solving for, then you will try all these things. You'll try, I gotta do everything. Whereas if you take a simple model approach to it and say, look, if I doubled the amount of throughput into my business, like, what would break first?
Yeah.
And if you're easily able to handle, like, double the amount of flow through your business, like, double the amount of customers and service and all, and nothing breaks.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then you probably have a demand issue, right? Like, there's not enough people that know about you that want your service or your product, whatever it is. So you have a demand constraint. So you need to solve that. Versus we've had clients where it wasn't really a demand constraint at the moment because there was enough flow through, but we were constrained in the delivery. And so we had a delivery constraint. And so we had to fix the pipeline to be able to, okay, well, how do we fix that? And using technology, well, we focused our effort on that, fix that, and suddenly, boom, well, we can at least triple to quadruple the number of clients coming through. Exactly. No problem. Yeah. Now we've moved from a delivery constraint to a demand constraint where, okay, now we're going to focus all that effort on sales and marketing. You're acquiring and bringing on new clients, but also reducing churn and things like that. Yeah. So if you don't know what to focus on, if you don't know what the actual constraint in your business is, a lot of these things will be, I think, clear symptoms of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, again, perfectly leads us into our next point, which is not learning from your mistakes. So if you're not paying attention to what those constraints are and you're constantly trying the same thing over and over again, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you start blaming your team or like everybody but the problem that needs attention. So you're kind of just spiraling into one spot. And then, you know, we find a lot of business owners that are like, hey, I want to sell my business because it's not growing. And then somebody else comes in and they're like, they see it in 5 minutes and they're like, actually, if I could solve this, this business is going to start skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And we've had situations where a new owner takes over and they start making so much progress, and the person that we were like coaching initially would be like, whoa, what the heck? Like, why couldn't I do it? It's like, well, we've been telling you constantly that this is the constraint.
Yeah, you're refusing to learn from that, and that's not something we can't change that. You can't change anyone who's not willing to make that change, which goes back to the mindset around and the ego, and then what got you here won't get you there. It's all these things like layered in, and so I hope when people are listening to this, they understand, like, this is it's not just any one of these things. This is like years and years of seeing these things play out. And here are the things. If you take any couple of these things and start to run with these, it will make a dramatic change in the next like years and future of your business and life.
And the theme around everything thus far has been comfort and discomfort. Something you're just very comfortable with, and you don't want to challenge yourself in a discomfort, because if you don't know what you don't know, you just don't want to try to get to know what you don't know.
Or you feel you don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Yeah.
Because you are, again, running at, your cognitive load is so high.
Yeah.
You're running at 100%, like flat out. And it's like, it just feels like, and just another thing I have to try to figure out. And a lot of that is really, it's the scaling playbook where you have to reclaim that energy to give you the bandwidth to start to work through these things. Right. It's just like everything is always connected. There's just a lot of different ways to approach it. Exactly. And we talked about, we say that a lot, but it is, we talk about a lot. We may sound like we're repeating ourselves, but the message is quite clear and it needs repeating because not enough people have heard it. If you really want to change the trajectory of your business, of your life, and that is, you have to start making decisions based off data, not your gut. Yeah. Right? Like, what are the actual things? And that's going to require some work to, how do I start getting this information? How do I get this data readily available so I can make better decisions? What data do I need to make better decisions? Exactly. Yeah. And measuring something for the sake of measuring something doesn't help, because there's a few different things. What we focus on grows. So it's like, usually what happens is, one of the easy ways to start seeing a measure or seeing a KPI, key performance indicator change, is you start just looking at it, right? And just the nature of that starts to change it, but if you're collecting the wrong data, you're looking at the wrong data, like, you're going to focus your energy on the wrong things. Mm-hmm. You're going to make decisions around the wrong things. Mm-hmm. So you have to, yes, you need data, but you need the right data to help you make the right decisions.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it is important because, again, in line with everything we just talked about, all of those little points that we talked about, that is a data point. Like, it is something that you have information on that you're not making a decision on.
Very good point.
Yeah.
That is a very good point. If you go back to any of those and you look at your performance in any of those, like, that will give you enough data points to say, oh, interesting. Yeah. How would I do differently? How have I done in that area? Mm-hmm. And what needs to be different? Yeah. Yeah. I laugh at this because, like, I don't think I've really played video games in a long time, but when I see this, it reminds me of, like, when you, whenever you leveled up, you had a skill point to allocate to one of those things. Sometimes you just, like, don't allocate it to one of the things that you don't really find a lot of value in, but it's one of those things, until you actually come to a roadblock where you're like, shit, like, wish I level that piece up, right? So, like, if you lay out all of these, like, 7 different things we talked about, and you start leveling each up as you're growing yourself, you're gonna end up improving
generally.
Yeah. And all of this really comes down to you, to me, right? And being able to look at ourselves objectively and being real with ourselves, being okay with just accept the fact that you don't know everything. You haven't known everything. You haven't experienced all these things. And there's going to be different people at different levels of the game. And trying to compare yourself to them is going to be that's a really hard thing to do, because we like to compare ourselves. Like, oh, I wish I had done this. It's cool. You're on your path.
Exactly.
You are on your fucking path, and you've had your own set of circumstances, your own set of skills and experiences that have shaped you on this road. And to try to compare yourself to someone else is not really a fair thing to do, because you don't know the specific experiences and skills and all the things that have gone to that person. Or, I consider myself very lucky and fortunate that I had a very entrepreneurial father who struck out when he was young and started a forestry company and started with one machine and then grew and started to grow. And then not everyone has that opportunity. So for me to be like, oh yeah, well, I'm involved in business, want to run my own business and have run my own business and coach other businesses and things like that. Well, not everyone was on that path. So don't compare yourself to my experiences, because I was very fortunate, right? I don't look at it and be like, oh, well, I can't then compare myself to someone else.
Yeah.
Or someone can't compare themselves to me, because we just had very different experiences. If you've never experienced that, well, then you might be starting a little bit later off in years. And there's things that I'm like, do I wish I would have known back when I had first started my own company, and I was way too distracted with social media way back in the day when Facebook was young. And man, like the silly games and the silly games used to play, like sitting in my office and like, I'm, mentally masturbating about work and like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and not actually
get it done after I get this.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I'm strategizing how I'm going to get clients, but just pick up the fucking phone and start calling them and, doing the outreach and doing the work that's hard. But, oh no, this other little thing is going to, those are the lessons that are just hard earned in the trenches.
100%. Like your mind has this way of just getting you to categorize things like hard all the way to easy.
Yeah.
And it'll just gradually go to the one that you subconsciously know is going to be easier to do, which is like just sitting there. Oh, I'm going to strategize. I'm going to put together like this really cool, like strategy document. But it's not going to have any action behind it. Yeah. Just because like that's going to be medium to hard effort. Right?
It feels good. It feels good. Yeah. It feels like I've checked this off my box. Yeah. Checked this box off my list, and boom, I got a little hit of dopamine, and I feel good. Yeah. I feel so accomplished. Yeah. And that's where you got to get comfortable.
I worked with so I'm just going to be very quick with this one. Like I worked with somebody where I thought I was doing a really cool job putting together a strategy document, and he would always just like push back and be like, so who's going to do this work? And I didn't have an answer for that, because I was like, well, I used my brain power to come up with this plan. Somebody has to do it. It's like, well, if you came up with a plan, you got to fucking do it.
All right, everyone. That's the things that are going to change the next trajectory, or change the trajectory in your life and business for the next while is, these are lessons hard learned in the trenches of business. And so if you learned anything today, please share it with someone. If you agree or disagree, want to hear from you, throw it in the comments. Like, that's what it's there for. Give us your experiences. Tell us what you've been through, or one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn in business. We want to hear about that. And with that, everyone, we're BizMeds. We're your neuroscience business coaches. My name is Darius.
And I'm Saad.
And we're here to obviously give you the minimum effective dose, help you scale your business with less time and less energy, but more success. And with that, to our mothers, thank you so much. Saad's mom, love you. Thank you. My mom, love you. Thank you. Everyone who's been here from the beginning, or if you just joined, thank you. We do this for you, and we appreciate everyone. Any minute of attention that you give us, we're deeply grateful for. So thank you. If you're looking at a way that you can start to reclaim that energy we talked about, well, register for the free masterclass below in the links. Burn Out to Breakthrough. Give 57 minutes and you'll reclaim 2 days a week of your life to start having less cognitive load and more ability to scale your business. And with that, remember, you're just one day away from the life you've always dreamed about. We'll see you in the next episode.